one of those full circle moment days where I gotta give you the angles of my hair and start the video off from backwards to forwards. I paid $12 each Monday to my hairstylist Amber Taguchi for her to try her hand at styling my hair. We often do different braids for her to practice where I feel beautiful and stylish and ready to face the camera come what may. Best $12 I ever did spend. If I could make that ballpark sound, that where somebody hits the ball out of the ballpark, I would have done it right there, right then. I mean, mine's a little lame, a little too quiet, but you get the drift. My hairstyle was based off of Princess Charlotte and recent pictures taken of her at the Troop of the Colors, and my hairstylist nailed it. Thank you, Amber. Here I am, feeling like a star. I hope you have those moments and days too. Now, if you're new here, you might think, what in the world did I just click on? But you've entered the world of BookTube with Jenny Luez. Please like this video, subscribe to this channel, ring the notification bell, and do all the things so you don't miss a thing. Thank you, friends. Today's book that I'm going to review is called Full Circle by Mike Howard. It's a Jack Trench thriller. I believe it's the first book in what the author is hoping to develop into a series. Mike Howard is off to a strong start on Amazon with 14 reviews with an average rating of 5 stars. Good for him. As an independent author, often what happens is the book comes before a platform. Well, it's great to launch a book, but it doesn't really sell if you don't have an audience built yet. Mike Howard's done it right, though. He has a Facebook following of 300 some individuals. And here's the thing, you don't need a large following to sell your books. What you need is engagement and people who are interested in you as a person, and a following then that becomes your tribe. People that will stand with you through thick or thin and will root for your success and help you get there too by reading your books and leaving reviews. As for me, I came across Full Circle via Reedsy Discovery. Now, sorry in advance to Mike Howard, I might be your most critical critic yet. It's not that Full Circle wasn't quickly paced. It's not that it didn't clip along, keep you turning the pages. In fact, I read this book in one sitting. Now, as a homeschooling mom, that's quite a feat. Full Circle is written like that, just like it's named. It takes you in a full, complete circle. The beginning, though, for me, actually had me a bit confused. There was so much going on, so many characters. It was a bit chaotic, and I was unsure if I was going to be able to follow the storyline. Thankfully, that quickly faded, but those first initial pages really did have me wondering, am I going to be able to get through this? Is it going to make sense? Is this worth my time? The answer is yes, the book is a good read. The thing is, it seems implausible, like a movie. Because it reads like a television show or like a movie, and because it therefore seems as though it's something that's been done before, outside of the author's unique voice or insights, it doesn't read as something new that's never been done before. In fact, like the Bible says, there's nothing new under the sun. And that's why, for me, this book gets 3 stars. Again, I feel as though I do need to apologize. I feel as though I'm being a little bit harsh. It's the critic inside of me. Sometimes she does show herself. But for me, the little bit of confusion at the beginning that had me questioning, and then really truly seeing the full circle. Does it complete the circle? It does. Does it live up to its name? This book absolutely does. but it's almost too neat, too tidy, too predictable. At first, you may not know what's going on, but it doesn't take you long to clue in. The opening few chapters, where a spy is like a double agent working both sides and seeks to take out the lead character, does quicken your pulse. However, the plot line of a main character being arrogant, aggressive, thinking he's better than, that he's prepared his whole life steeped in hatred. And then on the other side, you have the heroes via groups from the CIA that are sure-footed, capable, and of course working a different angle, that which would be the right side versus the bad side. Except each side does contain trained killers. Now you can wrestle with the morals all you want. That's not what this book was about. It was more a classic story of good guy versus bad guy and who's going to win out. And I'm not going to ruin the book for those that wish to pick it up and read it for themselves. The plus side of this book is that it does complete the circle. It is a fast read. And perhaps you won't be confused by the first few chapters and all the characters that are being named. Perhaps you'll be able to follow that better than me. Maybe you have a household that's less distracting. But just like a good James Patterson novel, the chapters are short. And because of that, you're like, oh, I can read just one more. I can do it. That then lends itself to be the kind of book that you can read in one sitting. And that's definitely not a bad thing. I dock points just because, as I said, it's predictable. For me, I was a little bit confused at the beginning, and I dock a couple points because I feel as though it was almost written for TV or to be turned into a movie. My other critique comes with the lust storyline, where there's an attraction between a nurse and the main character, Jack, that then takes you to the very last chapter of the book, where she shows up on their doorstep, and now they have this lustful engagement where there's magnetism and chemistry and an ending where she very well might end up living with the main character, Jack, long term. I also found that ending to be quite implausible. And although we all get older, and sometimes when we're older, we feel as though we don't need to wait as long to jump into our relationships or have them go from 0 to serious, I also, though, think that the timeline and the series of events between this nurse and Jack just doesn't have enough substance to make it true to life. Outside of my critiques, though, like I said, it is a good read. I did not feel as though it was a waste of my time. It is straying away from what I've been reading, which is typically more moralistic, virtue-filled, Bible-themed, godly goodness. It's definitely a secular novel. It is definitely more like a James Patterson. There is fighting, there is bloodshed, there is murder. You know, it's a whole thing. Of course, the caveat being that it's via groups through the CIA, making a lot of what we're witnessing then true to life with the dark side of the world. We know evil exists. This book depicts it. What is really cool about this book, though, Full Circle by Mike Howard, is that Mike Howard has a background with working inside of the CIA. Because of his backstory, because of his work with law enforcement, because of his interesting, intense background, this book does have more credibility than some. While I was reading it, there were certain things about it where certain places were mentioned in the Philippines, or certain slang was used to describe parts of the CIA that made me want to stop and Google the various locations and the various slang terms to see if it was legitimate. However, I didn't, partly because it was that clipping along, fast-paced read, and I was like, oh, I want to, but do I want to? I don't really want to stop reading, so I'm gonna like delay it and hold off until later, which later will probably never come, and I'm just gonna trust that Mike Howard, with his background, was telling the truth. If you are looking for a beach read, a vacation read, a read that helps you whittle away a few hours, this is a good book to pick up. You won't regret it, even if you could critique it like I just did. A 3-star read is still a good read. Until next time, friends.